All right. Welcome to another man's point of view. I am your host, the Space Luchador, and we're gonna go ahead and jump into a video, and then I'm gonna break it down to you and show you the obvious part of it and why everybody gets it wrong and why I'm right because it's right there, right under your nose, right? So, anyways, let's jump in.
Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, 83% of right swipes go to 20% of men. 20% of men are getting 83% of the right swipes. That is incredibly unbalanced. That means 80% of men are competing for 17% of women. And then you wonder where all this anger and angst comes from. So feminists can get out there, the new Barbie movie can come out, all this type of shit can happen. But like, you have to remember these men exist, and if you don't, that's when these massive problems happen. I'm not trying to criticize any of you. I'm just saying, in general, in society, we try to sweep these men under the rug and act like they don't exist because they don't have luck with women, and that's the reason why. Like, that's the problem. And then when women complain about men, they're complaining about men who cheat, and to a bunch of men who are like, cheat? I've never had a girlfriend. How the fuck am I gonna cheat on Tinder?
Well, there you go. First off, right? Why? Like, why? You know? Why should you care for all these guys? Right? Because that's what women really see. Right? Understand what he's saying. He's not wrong, but he's not right either. And I know how it sounds, but that's why it's so hard. Because, like I always say, it's so easy that it's hard. Now, this is what I mean about being it under your nose, right? Now, what he's saying is true. It is true, right? But that's not the point, right? There's a reason that it works that way. How about just ask why, right? Why do these women choose 20% and can care less, right, about the other percent, right? Maybe there's something wrong with the majority of men. You ever thought of that, right? I hate to say it, but that's actually the truth. That's the answer. There it is. And as you can see in the video, none of these women really give a rat's ass about what this guy is saying, right? Because at the end of the day, they're not thinking, right, collectively in the moment. As far as they're concerned, you're talking down to them directly, right? Which those are fighting words, right? You lost them already. Which again is also missing the point, right? Because what are they supposed to do? Now, I've seen countless videos, right, of these podcasts here. And I can name a few, right? I'm not gonna. But they all doing the same thing. They're all trying to convince women that maybe the world can be fixed if they only, right, realized their errors. First of all, rule number one, and I know I have a lot, but rule number one, they're never going to admit to the fault. So right there, right off the bat, you're trying to do something that ain't going to happen. Right? Which again, you missed the point. Right? Then you sit them all down and you're trying to boo-hoo your way into them removing their panties. That's not how it works. Never has, never will. That's just the way it is, right? Which also explains your percentage there and your mathematics, which again, they're not wrong. However, you are wrong by trying to point this out to all these women. Clearly, they don't care. And they ain't about to change. You never stop to ask why. Now, I'm going to play it real quick.
Bumble and Hinge,
and stop it here and there.
83% of right swipes go to 20% of men. 20% of men are getting 83% of the right swipes.
Why? I'll tell you why. Right? Because that percentage, and I dare say it's even less, are actual men. Now, what does that mean? That means actual men that are attracted or attractive enough for women to even swipe. Right? Even then, still doesn't guarantee you're gonna get a date. And even then, it still doesn't guarantee you're gonna get some. You understand? It's a funnel, right? It's a process. It's a bunch of damn tests that you gotta pass. That's the point. Let's continue.
That is incredibly unbalanced. That means 80% of men
Boo hoo.
are competing for 17% of women.
That's another fallacy. They are not competing. That's the point. Matter of fact, they're out the game. They're in the shelf. They're not even competing. So what the hell makes you think they even have a chance? Do you not see they're in the sidelines, right? They're not even being given the chance, right? You seem, again, you don't get it. You're trying to convince here, right? The testers, right? The persons, right? The beings that give you the test for test purposes, right? And you're sitting there trying to convince them that all your fellow test takers, because there is a difference, they all can't pass this test, right? And you're making a case that it's somehow the tester's fault, right? Why these test takers suck and can't pass the test. Do you not see what's going on? It's that simple. It really is. You just gotta, I don't know why you don't see it. I'm not talking about you, my viewers. I'm talking about everybody in the internet. They don't seem to see the obvious. At least for me, it's obvious, right? Is it not? Right? That's one of the big reasons why everybody's not only confused, but they're talking out of their ass. Because they can't seem to see the difference. What's your role? One's a tester, and then you got a test taker. That's it. And you ain't about to pass the test, right? By trying to say that the test is hard. And that we can't all pass, so can you please, Miss Woman there, can you please stop testing us? Because we suck. Do not see it, right? Now here's the problem. And I'll end with this. The problem with even the statistic, right? The numbers and the percentages and all this crap. The bottom line that there is 1%. 1% of men. And the reason they win and get all the women and get chosen and pass the test is, guess what? Spoiler alert. Because they know what they're doing. Because they've passed the test. They studied, bled, trained, right? Got stronger, smarter, faster. They knew what they were doing. They knew their role. They know what they cannot do. And they happily take the test. Why? Because they've been there, done that. Right? And yeah, they passed the test, perhaps with a C, perhaps with a B. Right? But they were man enough to say, you know what? I'm going to take the test again. And this time, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to go for an A. And long and behold, right, you get an A minus. You passed. Maybe not with flying colors, but you passed. Right? You were just a few off from acing it. Now you got a little confidence, right? Now you think you're the shit. And you move on to a harder test. Pass that one with the B, you know, oh shit, man, must be something to this, right? All right, go back to the drawing board, test and train some more, all right? All of a sudden you go into damn spelling bees and you get the point, right? Or you can jump in these guys' bandwagon, right? Of crying, moaning, and complaining. all over the damn internet about how it's all women's fault, right? And if they only set their little standards low and put the bar down even lower, we can all kumbaya our way into some damn panties, right? That's not how it works, and I hate to say it, it's never gonna work because there's a reason. The system, right? And the game was placed to be the way it was meant to be since day one. So there you go. All right, if you like this video, give me a like, share, subscribe. I know it's pretty, pretty basic, I would say, right? But I gotta take you to the basics. Once you understand that, right? Once you put it in your mind, just open. I'm not saying to trust me blindly. Just think about it. Think about what this dude just said, right? And again, I don't want to go into some big ass rant, but I don't see why nobody sees it. Not to mention, you got like 6 girls, right, all around the damn table looking at him like, okay, and, right, what? Never ever has the sobbing story got any man, right, some, you know what? Never got some out of whining and complaining. Now, maybe somewhere out there, yeah, there's some loser somewhere sobbed this way into some, weasel this way. What it is, right? But there you go. I mean, I think the test thing, right? Perfect example, right? It's all it is. It's can you pass the test, right? You want me, Mr. Man, right? And that's not me, but a woman saying it, right? Only she's a woman, so she ain't gonna say it, but I'm gonna mansplain it as if I was a woman, right? And if I was a woman talking like a man, explaining, right? I would explain it this simple. You want me? You have to pass this test. That's it. Here it is. Right? Did you study? Right? Oh, don't matter. Here you go. You got to pass it now. Now it's even harder because it's one of those pop quizzes. When you least expect it. Why? Because that's the price you got to pay. Period. Why? Because it's my body. And yeah, I've said all sorts of other crap, right? About all the other women. Because what? I'm going to give you all of my secrets, right? Think about it, man. Is it hard? Is it really that hard? Really? Is it? Or is it just the fact that it is so easy? And because it's so easy, it makes it so hard because you don't believe it, right? You can't believe that a woman might say some shit, right? That has nothing to do with her, right? But more with the collective women. And that she's gonna hide her true feelings because maybe, just maybe, right? She's playing you for a fool, right? Because she's testing you. To go back to the quiz, right? Is it really that hard? Think about it. And I know it's hard work. And you don't really want to hear it, right? But it brings me back to, and I always do this, man. I always run my mouth, right? And continue on and on. But I'm going to end this video for reals this time with this, right? Brings me back to this time when I used to go to high school. And I'll never forget this. I'll never forget this. This is the part where you get to learn wisdom. Okay? I'll never forget this. I was in school. Last day of school, right? Right before graduation, and you're taking your test and all this, right? And I showed up to gym class. That's right. I took gym. So I sit there, right, and then The gym teacher takes out paper, right, and he hands it out. Here you go, right? You get your little pencil, your little desk, you sit your ass down, you're about to take the test, right? And he says, read the instructions, take the test. He might have said it a couple times. Read the instructions and take the test. Read the instructions and take the test. But because we were all a bunch of dumbasses, right? We were children. And we don't pay attention to the most obvious thing. He said, read the instructions and take the test. Had we read the sorry ass instructions, right? All the way at the bottom, hidden right there in plain damn sight, it said, right? Thank you for taking my class. Now that you've read the whole thing, all you have to do is sit back, relax, right? And turn in your test just like that, right? And you pass the test. Thank you for reading the instructions. Only nobody got to that point. Why? Because we didn't read the damn instructions, right? We all did the test, right? And failed. Because we didn't read the damn instructions. Now, of course, it is a trick test, right? But the thing about that, and this is the point of it, right? Of this example, the point of it is that while it is a trick test, it is meant for only maybe in some sort of damn miracle, one out of everybody in the damn class maybe would have followed instructions and passed the test. Not because he was smarter, but he was clever, right? Clever enough and awake enough. And that's the point, right? Now, how do you teach that, right? How do you teach a man to be a man, right? How do you teach a boy to grow, right? How do you teach him to become the man he was meant to be? How do you tell a grown man that he's not a man just yet, right? How do you tell him that you think you're a man, but you're not a man, not yet? You're missing skills and abilities, right, for you to claim to be this man. And even then, the claim itself comes with a bunch of tests because you're claiming to be something that we need desperately in 2024, right? And because you're claiming to be this thing that we need in 2024, right? Women are going to test you even more. Why? Because, spoiler alert, that's what they want. So it's only natural, right? You've heard of the famous woman nature, right? Well, she's going to test you to see if it is that you are what you claim you are, right? But anyways, there you go, right? Hope that example of the test was perfect, right? Pretty simple, pretty basic, right? Yes, it was a trick when we can sit down, right, and be like, well, it was meant for you to fail because, well, no, not really, because he did say 3 times, read the instructions, but we were all a bunch of dumbasses. We decided not to because, hell, we never think outside the box, right? Now, the only way, me looking back at it, because I failed too, right? Me looking back at it, the only way to pass that test ever again is by taking the L, right? Because I would have to be thrown in that situation again, right? Only this time, I would have had the experience of the first time. Sadly, I cannot claim, right, that I passed it on the first try. I didn't. I failed, right? Wasted my time like a dumbass. Turned in the test, right? Turns out I could have just sat on my ass. Feeling smart about myself and proud, right? Because I read the instructions. Only I didn't. I failed like everybody else, right? But here's the beauty of it. I learned that day. So, gym teacher, if you're out there, I want to thank you for giving me one of the greatest lessons of my life, right? After that experience, I knew there was more to this thing we call life, right? There's things that are going to be thrown at us that should be simple, right? But they're not because they're so damn simple. And we seem to overlook the obvious, the practical, right? Because believe it or not, the mother of all creation is literally, right, for the need of practicality. Now, what is practicality? Well, trying to do something the most simplest, easiest way, right? And only the clever, the strong of mind and will can pull these off, right? There's a saying, right? There's a buttload of sayings. But anyways, there you go, right? They say it's work smarter, not harder. So there you go. I'll see you in the next man's point of view. Share, like, subscribe, comment down below. What do you think? Was this insightful? Was it not? Did you not care, right? Do you think it's not popular? So hey, I'm gonna continue to march with the bandwagon of all the dumbasses that can't seem to see past their nose, right? Refuse to see the matrix. You don't want to see how the system works. You don't want to win. You want to boo-hoo your way, right? Into between some legs. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Not fruitful one, right? But anyways, there you go. I'll see you in the next man's point of view.